This episode of Truth in This Art is a special edition, a partnership with the fine folks at 410 Lofts. 410 Lofts is a mixed-use housing community in the heart of the Bromo Tower Arts and Entertainment District. I'll be speaking with some of the creatives that reside in 410 Lofts. So for more information, please visit 410lofts.com. And now, on to your podcast. Welcome to Getting to the Truth in This Art. I am your host, Rob Lee. And today I am interviewing an MC, a hip hop artist, born in North Carolina but raised in Maryland. Says, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, you know who it is. It's your boy Says, you feel me?
you went full rapper immediately. I love it. I love the energy. So I like how when I'm reading over this bio, you talk about versatility, you talk about having that in each performance and staying true to yourself. So let's get into that. Let's start talking about the vitals. Like, how did you get started? How did you get to Baltimore? And talk about your versatility.
All right. So I guess to answer your first question, how I got started, it's an interesting question. Like I'm gonna say I was about, matter of fact, just from the time that school started, you know what I mean? Yeah. Since like that time period, I just was always in a group that was freestyling, whether I was too young for it to matter, you know what I mean, or too old for it to be serious. I mean, but by 8th grade, I was enjoying it more and more, and I was like trying to take it serious, and I realized the people around me were just doing it as a hobby. So I'm like, oh, I really have to do this in order to do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, I was like, I don't know what made me decide. It was the love for music, for real. Yeah. It was just like, I love to do this. Like, I can't imagine not continuing to do this for the rest of my time being here. So it's like, I got to start.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
So you didn't spend a lot of time in North Carolina. You don't go back. Did you go back for family or anything along those lines, or has it just been once you moved to Baltimore, Maryland, that area, you're up here? What is that about?
I was like a back and forth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I moved from North Carolina when I was like 5. Mm-hmm. Stayed down here until like, I don't even know how old I was, but it was like 7th grade. Yeah. You know what I mean? Went down there until 9th grade or 10th grade. Came back down here for 10th grade. And then graduated here, went to college here, finished some college out on the Eastern Shore. But yeah, it's a back and forth journey.
I dig it. So let's talk about influences, right? Like, and I know sometimes artists get a little too, ain't nobody like me. I didn't get influenced by anybody. But speak on that. What are some of the influences to your musical style? Because I think like North Carolina has certain like rappers, right? And there's a certain style that's there. That's kind of like, it's Southern, but I don't know if it's like super Southern, right? And then here it's technically Southern in Baltimore, but not really. Let's just be real. So combining those two, like, where is your style within having those two dissimilar kind of like regions of like rap and like music?
Well, I mean, your roots are really what make you, for real. You know what I mean? So like, even if you only stayed in whatever place for 5 years, if that's where your peoples are from, that's, you know what I mean? So my peoples had like known people like Knife Wonder would like sort of taunt me with it. They'd be like, yeah, like I'll tell you to go meet him. Like you start making beats, you start being, you know what I mean, you need to do it. Like, so I always did it. I never got to meet that nigga, but like, and they still claim they know him and shit, but like, like, it was just that type of time. So I was listening to Jay-Z and getting into the older music that was before I was old enough to listen to it, you know what I mean? So I was learning about Knife Wonder, learning about like conscious rap. So my influences came from, you know what I mean, like the down south, but the down south conscious, and then it spread just straight like the realest things that I could find. You know what I mean? It was just like, if it was pure, I'm in it. Like,
and that kind of speaks on like the ethos here, right? Like Baltimore is really authentic. So it's like, are you real? You know, it's kind of that. Yeah. So it makes sense that it's like, I'm gonna be looking for this type of music, and I'm gonna be gravitating towards this because it's speaking to you, because it's like authentic.
Right.
So like finding that artistic inspiration, you got to touch on it a little bit. It's like, you might have like people like, man, you better work on your shit, man, or whatever it is.
Right.
So speak a little bit more on that. Like, I know for me, like I dabbled in rap a little bit. Wasn't good. But it would always be one or two lines. It's like, all right, that's kind of hard. I see why you keep doing this. I see why you keep trying. And it's almost like this trolling to get you to do your thing, right? So speak on that. Did you have any of like that kind of from maybe family or friends that were like, yo, come on, bust a freestyle, yo?
Nah, that was always, it wasn't taken serious.
Okay.
It was always as if I wasn't serious. You know what I mean? They didn't know how serious I was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for a long time, like until like the past couple of years, you know what I mean? When I dropped my first album and I had to show them at that point, you know what I mean? Like it was like, all right.
Yeah.
Because of how it was downplayed, I mostly just dropped it and like, I was like, I'm gonna blow up and y'all just gonna be like, what the hell just happened? I mean, but the support of my family rather than the shit on my family, it was, you know which one is better, so yeah. I ended up, you know what I mean? So yeah, I had to just, you know what I mean, just come into it with the mindset of knowing that it's whatever I make it, and it never really fully reached me until like, I was on my own time until I started losing things from it. You know what I mean? And I had to either put in all to gain or waste my time. Like, and
it's one of those things where when you said that, I started thinking of this movie Whiplash. And literally, like the J.K. Simmons character, who's like this great like musician, he kind of goes really hard on drummers. And his thing is like, if you're gonna do it, you can't have a relationship. You can't have any of these other things. And I think that's what you're speaking on.
It's so crazy. I just got out of a relationship. Like, I mean, I've been mentally out of it. You know what I mean? And I thought that if I was mentally out of it and like I was working at full capacity, but literally as soon as I like cut off that string of like, yeah, I'm not like, stop talking to me, leave me alone. Like then like my work ethic, like I realized just how much energy I was wasting. You know what I mean? And it sounds crazy to say, oh, you're wasting it, but it's not what I want. I mean, I do want a family. That's important, but like I'm able to achieve both. And if that's holding me back, then why? You know what I mean? Like why expend energy on it?
Then it actually brings me to a question, and I like how I'm going off script the entire time, by the way. That's how we rock it.
That was good.
So like one of the notions that I try to put out there is a person that is balancing multiple things. I told you how many interviews I'll be doing. And it's one of those things where how do you start blending different interests together? You know what I mean?
So how do you stop?
How do you start?
Oh.
Like, what do you do to be able to, you know how people talk about time management, but it's like you have one thing that you got to do and it may not necessarily connect to that other thing. So it's like, how do you take advantage of that limited time that you have to get things done?
I love that question. I hate it because I ask myself it every day, you know what I mean? Especially when I get off work. So it's like, but you got to put yourself in a position of what's important to you always being important to you no matter what. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I currently work at a mental wellness center, you know what I mean? But I edit videos and shoot videos all day. You know what I mean? Like I want to start a production team, you know what I mean? So I can provide production, video production, et cetera, for other artists. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And I'm able to do that and get experience as well as use equipment that I don't have access to. Yeah. And I gained that opportunity from doing that already. You know what I mean? Yeah. But people, like time management is hard, especially when you choose to do everything that you want to do or everything that you need to get done. You know what I mean? So like for me, I wanted to rap, so I needed beats, I needed videos, I needed cover arts. Only thing I don't do is beats no more. But I engineer, I mix and master, you know what I mean? Like I have to do everything and I have to learn each of those and I can't lack on any of them because they all have to be of equivalent high quality for what I produce, not just for myself, but for others as well. So I'm able to continue to do what I want on my time.
That's legit, though. I think where what you were touching on initially is what I call stacking. Like, look, I need to do this to do this.
Right.
And if it may be, and you keyed in on one thing that I thought was really cool, like in my day job, I did some podcast editing. I hate podcast editing.
I hate it too.
This is why I hire an editor. But I would do that to make money and to get those resources to be able to fund something like this.
Right.
And it's like these are the dots that are connected. So that's what you're describing there, having that access to those video like editing resources and things of that nature, it's like you're able to kind of mix and match and learn on the fly while doing, instead of like, let me take a class. It's like, nah, I want to be at work doing this,
Right.
and getting paid to do it.
Oh, for sure. And then it makes it different, like, to teach yourself. It's not the same hassle. Like, I've been to college twice, and like each time it'd be the worst thing in the world to go home and make myself read the textbook. But I can go home now, or be on the way home on the bus, in the Uber, whatever, you know what I mean, in the car, and still put on an audiobook, or, you know what I mean, start teaching myself something. Get home and do the same thing, or do something productive, because it means something different. I don't know why. It's just like, especially when it affects my work and my personal business, which matters more than my work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's also, you mentioned the ebook thing, right? Like, so when I go back to this notion of stacking, like I started reading like 4-Hour Workweek, and like how you could take advantage of time, exchange rates, and all of this stuff to basically free yourself up, right?
Right.
So I remember I was like, all right, let me look at these priorities. And usually we have to get off of work, and I'm like, all right, what do I need to do? I want to work out, so I need to get on this bike, right? I was like, I can't lift weights while being on a bike. That's just dangerous, right? So I was like, I do want to play this game too. I want to play like Madden or something at a time. I was like, I can play the video game really well while biking, and I can and it makes me think, because I'm doing two very different things. I'm not concentrated on either. And I think it makes you better at being able to juggle multiple priorities, because they're not quite the same.
Right.
So like, you can do something that's like relatively passive. Like, you could put on an ebook and then bike, and that's not really engaging you. But when you're like trying to play a game and you get cooked in it while you're trying to like work out or something, or you're like, I need to get better at this. I need to key in. I need to focus. And I think, and I say that because it's really left, but I say that to show like, you can do something like that may not have on the surface anything to do with you making a song, or you making a project or something, or you even like doing something in graphic design or something along those lines. But it gives you that way of thinking. You're using a different part of your brain where you're like, oh, no, I can do this way. These are how these things are connected.
Well, or
please.
My bad.
No, you got it.
All right, yeah, I was about to say, like, I mean, I also think it's very important with time management, like, supremely important. Like, it's the most important step, and the step that nobody takes, and it's the difference between really managing your time and, you know what I mean, just using time. It's like, is letting go of, you know what I mean, pleasures and what, you know what I mean, what time they take.
I thought you were going to be corny there for a second. It's like, yeah, you can let your time manage you. It's like,
hell no. I could have spit you a little forward poet.
No, I don't want that. I want that. I want the real.
Yeah.
No, but that's legit though.
Yeah, like I like playing the game a lot, you know what I mean? But I also realized it was a way of procrastination, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I realized that by just having the summer out of school and being like, damn, like I used to play the game hella, and I'm bored of this shit, and I really don't want to play it, but why was I playing it before? Because I didn't want to do schoolwork. So it's like, oh, I can just play this for an hour. And just, I mean, I don't want to fucking play the game, but I'm not being productive, but I don't want to do this work. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's a way of procrastinating. So like I had to cut a lot of fun things off, you know what I mean?
So I read that you started writing back in like 2012. So that's almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So what was your writing process then, and how has it changed since? See, I had you with the softballs with like, yeah, let's talk about time management now. Tell me about your writing.
Look, this is an easy question. This is funny because it's so different, like dramatically. But times change too. You know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't understand how rapping worked when I first started rapping. Like not like I could spit on beat and I could freestyle. You know what I mean? Like that was what I was used to. You know what I mean? Like, but so my first tape I did was like 2011. It was between like middle school and high school. I just recorded it in the bathroom on the phone. You know what I mean? It was like for 30 straight minutes I was just freestyling over tracks. Yeah. Like, and I dropped that joint. Y'all ain't never gonna find it. It's garbage. You know what I mean? But
I am gonna look for it now. I am gonna look for it. I'm gonna look for it.
It's on that pip. You know what I mean? If you search Sizzle with the $, you might get lucky. Look, I ain't gonna tell you the name though.
Oh, it's gonna be attached to this episode.
Hey, that might make them a fan. They're gonna see how I rose, because that shit was something different. But I was like, yo, like how do these people like, it sounds like they know what they're gonna say. You know what I mean? Like I didn't understand writing even existing. You know what I mean? I just thought it was off the dome, so I thought I needed to get better. You know what I mean? I was juggling, trying to learn how to make beats because I didn't know you could get beats off YouTube. You know what I mean? Like I was lost in the sauce, but at the same time it was helping me get stronger. You know what I mean? But once I started writing. I don't know how I learned. I guess I just decided that's what I was gonna do. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I thought I had something different. I'm like, yeah, ain't nobody writing. I'm writing. Like, I don't know. I wrote, and like, I would write on a pen and pad. And at the time, like, I was going crazy in school and shit, fighting, and so I didn't have my phone. So like, my mom had like a broken Android, and she let me use it as an alarm. Mm-hmm. And like at night, like at 12, I would break that joint out, you feel me, and play beats and like write on a notepad and shit. Yeah. And then they took that jump, and then like literally I would just write off like remembering beats from songs, cause like I had a phone for so long. You know what I mean? Like I was just mentally writing, and I learned that you can't really write before you hear the beat. Like, that's a real big rule. Like it's just, you can, but it's not. It's
something doesn't sync up.
Yeah, like. You know what I mean? Sometimes it works out, but I just prefer, you know what I mean, to capture. But yeah, that's how I started writing. I just got into it from there, you know what I mean? So 2012, you know what I mean, I was, you know what I mean, writing almost every day throughout class and at home through the fucking light of the hallway. Yeah. You know what I mean? From remembering beats in my head. That was
hit with the writing bug.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So the music scene is ever changing and fickle at times. So how do you stay fresh? Like, and you know, are you listening to like current stuff? Are you following trends? What are you doing there?
Ooh.
Ooh. That's a modified question right there for you.
I don't want to. I got to choose my answer wise.
No shots here. No shade here either.
I don't want to send a shot. You know what I mean? Or a bad betrayal. Look, I don't usually care, right? Because a lot of the things that are entertaining to others aren't entertaining to me, and I have to sacrifice sometimes. You know what I mean? Like not with what I make and what I choose to make, but with how I release it and what, you know what I mean, like the aspects of that nature. But I also need to build my own specific fan base that's good for me. You know what I mean? So I'm more focused on just my craft, and it's hard sometimes. Like right now, I'm making that album, so I don't listen to music at all. Like I finished writing that joint like 2-3 weeks ago, and just now this week started listening to music. And like I only listen to a select group of artists. It's usually the artists I know, and I'll venture out to one new one. Like the music scene is changing a lot, and I keep pace by like hearing through social media, because I market as a job as well. Yeah. So like you know what I mean, I understand what's going on, but I never sit back and study these niggas no more.
That is a great line, by the way. I'll sit back and study some more.
No, like, when I was first started, you know what I mean, like I would listen to like, you know what I mean, certain like older songs, you know what I mean, artists who I was really influenced by. You know what I mean, like, but you'll hear that on the top 5. You know what I mean?
That's interesting. Like, I remember, I think it was an interview maybe where like Currency or what have you, and he was like talking about like, I don't really listen to anybody that's current. He's like, if I'm going back and I'm trying to like match a certain vibe or what have you, and it's of a certain era, that's what I'm probably listening to. He's like, I'm not taking from it, but I want to match that vibe, I want to have that energy. And
it's not even that we wanted to it's more like we hear that. You know what I mean? It was like, damn, like that's the type of music we want to hear. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we want to make that, not even like, oh, that would be fire. Like it's just like, it's just the vibe that's given to us from that music. You know?
I'll put it in terms for me, right? On occasion, I might listen to someone else's podcast. Very rare, because you can easily fall into the trap of, well, that's popping, right? And it's like, nah, it's not. You're doing your own thing. So I like that you're like, nah, I do my own thing. You go full silence, you know, when you're writing, because you don't want that like, you know, seeping into what you're doing.
Exactly. It's just like, even if I yearn to hear something, I just don't want to hear that. Like, it just don't be on my
Put on some classical music. It's just like, look, man, I don't listen to some Beethoven right now. I can't listen to
for real. I literally listen to I was listening to, I can't even remember the name of the song. It was just like some old school music. Yeah. Like, I listen to a lot of Earth, Wind & Fire and shit like that when I write. in writing mode at least. You know what I mean?
No, I dig it because I think like the other thing is now this is going to be controversial. I have this belief that music, by and large, took like a weird hit. I want to say probably when that first tape you put out dropped. No, it took a weird hit probably around that time, though, like 2010, 2011, where it's just like, and the reason I say that, a lot of guys that are like out now that are quote unquote like in this rap scene, they were doing mixtapes then. So like you had J. Cole, you had Kendrick Lamar, Dom Kennedy,
right.
You know, Mac Miller even then on that time, what have you. And you had this type of stuff out there. And I used to like cover that stuff. I used to do this podcast. You'll never find it. I used to do this podcast called I Put You On To, and I would play some of my favorite tracks from their projects that were coming out, just as kind of like, don't forget I put you on to this shit.
Right.
So after that, you kind of look at like, nah, you're not really doing the same. It doesn't have that same energy. It's just like you're doing something because there's a formula behind the scene that you now sound a lot different from what you sounded like on your mixtape. And I know that people talk about that all the time, but I can pinpoint the time. That's the thing that's so weird about it.
Yeah, see, you right, and I can't say names. You know what I mean? But
that'll be off mic.
Oh God, but it's crazy because at that time it was still like it was great music coming. Like it looked like the start of great things. You know what I mean? Like, and for me, because I didn't care about that other shit. You know what I mean? It was until I realized how much it was influencing what was considered good music. It was like, what the hell? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so this isn't playing no more, and this is like, you know what I mean?
I'll say, even looking at the videos, this is how much I was influenced, because like the majority of them are kind of in my age group, and I just remember, man, I want to look back at like 2010, 2011, some of the pictures. I was just wearing a lot. I was dressed like a fat version of Currency. I was wearing Jets hats all the time. It was not great. It's like, where'd you get that Crooks and Castles from? I was spending a lot of money. It was a lot of like $65 hats. It was wild.
And they didn't even know what it was.
I was wearing Nike Blazers all the time. It was a little reckless.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what was the first album you owned? How did you acquire it? And now this is the key point. Does the album still hold up now?
All right, so to my remembrance, right, the first album I owned, it was a discography. It owned all the albums, everything they released, all the mixtapes.
Okay.
I mean, it was Lupe. It was Lupe Fiasco's discography.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't still have the file.
The file, I like it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Because like that was on like 12 generations of laptops ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was my first laptop. But
little Pirate Bay action.
Oh God, yeah. And I just got taught about it. You know, Kick-Ass Turns was still popping. I was like, oh. He was like, you can type in your artist and after discography, and anything will come up. And I'm
Where's your VPN?
I didn't know shit about none of that shit. That was like,
They are looking for you, sir. They are looking for
middle
you.
school. Oh God, I went back.
Yeah.
I streamed Lupe shit all the time. I got his albums. I bought them. You know what I mean, he's huge influence. That's like, you know what I mean, like that sort of like set my tone for what I appreciate in music. Because even though I heard other music and I had other discographies too, like that's the one that I always like. It was pastime music. It was listen to music. It was all, you know what I mean, like, and I didn't need different energies because, you know what I mean, I fucked with what was there. You know what I mean, like it was, yeah.
So does it still hold up for you? Okay.
Now I don't listen to like the mixtapes, but that's because I don't have them. And I would have to get them illegally to do so. And
well,
I'm a fan, so.
I think that's the thing though. Like people should have the discography situation should be there. Like when I do a dive into like comic books or what have you, I'm buying like trades.
All that.
Yeah. Like I'm buying trades, right? I'm buying like a compendium. I need that stack. I need to see what's good. Don't give me one or two and say, yeah, if you want the rest, you have to go climb a mountain to get it.
For real.
Give me the whole thing. I'll pay whatever it is. And that's where I think like this notion of like Spotify and things like that kind of got super popular because it's like at your fingertips. And I kind of miss this notion of digging in crates or going to a place and actually getting something. It's like work was put into this. this better be good. You know, that's the vibe.
I'm saying like, or at least buy the damn album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It makes it easier to like get your music out, but like at the same time, I don't like streaming services. Like, I don't like Spotify.
But it goes to the thing I was touching on earlier. It almost has that. This is, I know, granted, Spotify wasn't out to the degree in which it is now, but I feel like we're within the demo that would be going to Dat Piff. That's out there looking for, you know, that music. I was like a dude that was regularly on Pitches and Planes every week, on Pitchfork Media every week. What's good? I want to learn some new stuff.
Yeah, who dropped the tape? What's happening? Like,
but a lot of people aren't. They're just like, I want to type in Drake and I want everything from Drake right now. And it's like, that's cool. I don't want to do that though.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a different type of time. I don't know how to describe it. It's crazy. It's like the craft is different, or the appreciation for it is different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to go look for the music because it's not that important, and if it was, you would. You feel me? But you want to be a fan like everybody else. You want to listen to what everybody else heard. You heard somebody else play this Drake song. You want to go find it.
I mean, it got to the point where I'm looking for covers. It's like, yo, you did a cover of that? Cool. Let me find that.
You mean?
Make it hard for me to find. This is why I'm going to look for your joints. It's like, y'all got that original Sis. What you going to do about it?
Right.
I got when he's freestyling for 30 minutes. How you like that? So concerts, right? Like, that's the thing that we're in the COVID times, right? And we're on the back end of it, I think, hopefully. But concerts for a long time felt like they didn't exist. They were gone. So think back. What was your first concert, and like the first concert that you attended, right? And what are 3 things that you look for, like from an artist, like you got to play this live, yo? Like, what was that? It's like you wanted to see like Jay-Z for sake of argument. It's like, yo, you better play Hard Knock Life. What was the joint for you?
I haven't been to a concert that I've like. That's not it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I haven't been to many. Actually, I've only been to one. So yeah, it was Lil Durk. He performed at UMES. It was free.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was a cool show. You know what I mean? But like, I wasn't on his music at the time, so like,
I dig it.
I wasn't hip. It was lit. Everybody was lit. You know what I mean? He moved the crowd, so that's why I was watching. You know what I mean? But like, in performances, I still, you know what I mean, know what to look for. Like, I watch a lot of online performances, but, you know what I mean, like.
I'll say, like, I remember, because so you said UMES, right? So that was when you were in college, huh?
Yeah.
So it makes me think of like that homecoming situation where I went to Morgan. I remember, this shows you how old I am. New York shit came out from Busta Rhymes, and every New Yorker was just living their best life. And I was like, shut up, all y'all suck. And that was kind of my energy, but just having that vibe and that energy, that's something that you can only really get from that live performance. I think I didn't go because I don't do homecoming or anything, but I just remember like a crown was on stage and he was like wearing a crown, and it's just like, yo, are we in New York right now? This is like a little too much for me. Like, so I don't know. Like live concerts, it's just a certain energy that's there.
Yeah, for real. Like people really be like, they make that a real engaging feeling.
So is that something that you're looking forward to when you're able to kind of get that project out there?
Yeah, that's definitely something I'm trying to get in motion. I got some plans. I mean, for the release to be.
So I need some tickets, man.
Yeah, of course.
I'm like, yo, play your mixtape shit. Come on, yo.
Get him out of here.
Get him out of here. Boom, get him out of here. He's a heckler. So now I know that you got back to music recently, right? Listening to music. So now this is going to be an interesting one. What's the song that's stuck in your head right now?
What song that's stuck in my head?
Uh-huh.
See, I still got old songs stuck in my head.
That's fine.
Freddie Gibbs, Baby Shit. You know what I mean? That song slap.
Okay.
That's my shit.
That's legit.
Big Sean shit stuck in my head. I mean, he just dropped some shit with Hit Boy. I listened to that.
Oh, yeah. I saw that joint.
Yeah, I tried to reach out to some new shit. Like, I listened to Big Sean, but I haven't listened in a minute just because I haven't been tapping into new shit. But, like, so I tried to get back on. It was actually, you know what I mean? It was cool. It was respectable. I'm ashamed. I do have Spotify, and I have a complicated relationship with it, but I will say it's almost like this running thing with like
what was the last few tracks you downloaded to your iPod or what have you. That's the vibe. I was like, I can't let anybody see what I've recently liked because there's a lot of judgment. There's a lot of, I got vampire music on there, rap music. I got,
hey, you listen to what you listen to.
I got video game instrumentals. It's
I
wild.
can't put my liked songs on shuffle neither. You know what I mean? I don't, because I listen to all types of music. You know what I mean? Like.
And I think that's important, right? To have like a wide array of interests in your music.
Yeah, it just depends on where you at in life, like especially if you're a creative person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, because it influences how you feel about what you're making. You know what I mean, if you don't change the music that you listen to with how you feel, then you know what I mean, your creative juices are gonna feel lower. You know what I mean? So like, I was listening to folk music at one point, like I don't listen to John Mayer, but he had like one song and it got me listening to like other people, and I'm gonna actually tell you this story. It
okay,
was,
spin it.
Damn, I can't remember the show. It was like a fucking Disney show. It was cool though, and it was he was teaching him to play the violin or something.
Yeah.
He came in, he made a song. He was like stringling, you know what I mean? It was just stuck in my head as an adult though. So I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, so I looked it up because I remembered like some of the song lyrics, and I found the dude. His name was like Andrew Bird, and it was like 13-year-old video, you know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, or more than that probably, you know what I mean? Because it came out hello, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay. I looked him up like on Google, and I found out he was still making music, and he a Grammy-nominated violinist and shit, making folk music. He invented like a 5-string violin or something. I'm like, damn.
Like you doing real shit.
Yeah, like, let me see if you got some shit I can listen to. So I played the album, and yeah, I mean, that's my like, that's my chill the fuck out music.
Yeah, it's just strings going. He's like, nigga, like, give it up.
He don't even be just stringing. He really, you know what I mean? In that bit, I don't even know how to explain it.
I want to see people lit dancing to like violin music. It's like, yeah, motherfucker.
Look, you should have seen me, man. I tell you what, I was in there lit to that joke.
Yeah, I remember I discovered this. Like, what I like to do is in diving into music. And I'm kind of like getting that off of you. Like, you're a person that you're like, look, when you're in music mode, when you're not like in creation mode, when you're in music mode, you're like, I need to explore. And hence finding 5-string violinist. It's nothing better than when you find something that you didn't know you were looking for. You're just like, oh, this hits.
Oh God, bro.
It's like this hits.
Especially when it is something like completely out of range, because that opened my mind completely. Like, like. It changed a lot of shit. I started making music differently. Like, I made different type of songs. Like, I didn't make folk songs, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you could tell that I listened to something other than what I was listening to before. Like,
you may have got either like a sensibility, a technique, something from it that maybe sparked an interest in you to maybe approach your way of doing it differently. Exactly. It didn't directly influence you, but it was enough to say, you know what? Let me add that in there.
Yeah, it could have been subconscious. I could have been singing it because I done learned the song and then went and started writing a new song. And like, now that I know I can sing that, you know what I mean, it appears in my head, you know what I mean, like with my own tone or with my own, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah.
So that's why you got xylophones in the next project.
I can't learn to play instruments until, you know what I mean, life is free.
All right. So you know what time it is now. You're on a hot seat. Says you're sizzling. Says.
I mean, I'm always sizzling. It's in the moment.
My gosh! All right, so rapid fire questions. That's what we'll wrap up on in the next few minutes here. So rapid fire. The way that this works is I'm going to ask you a question. The answer is the answer. You don't have to provide any extra context or anything like, yeah, the reason I picked that one. Don't need to do it.
Right. Just tell them it is.
All right. It's like I said what I said. All right. Top 5 dead or alive. Starting off with that.
Is this in order?
No, not have to be in order.
Lupe. I say Rashad.
Really? Okay.
This is personal. You know
no, I'm listening.
I use my brain. Shit. Damn, this is hard because I only think of what I listen to right now. Nas. Got to put Jay on there. Okay. You feel me? I got one more spot. Damn.
Sis.
Oh, good. Can I put myself on there?
Oh, you gonna be one of those?
Nah.
It's like this is NBA top 75 right now.
Look, other people are meant to enjoy my music. All right. Shit. I'm gonna give it to Andre 3000.
Okay. Favorite drink?
Water.
That's not sizzleable, man.
What you mean? I mean, you gotta cool it down with all this fire.
Oh my God, I appreciate that. Favorite movie?
Damn.
Movie's a hard one.
Yeah, I know it's on my head. I just can't remember it. Shit.
Are there rappers in it? No.
I like that the first Venom joint. That joint was actually
Really?
was
Okay. That's a running bit for me and my girl. It's just like we start doing the Eminem song Venom, Venom. we talk to each other like that. We communicated one whole weekend by just saying Venom lyrics.
Hey, yo.
Because of you were born in North Carolina, you know I gotta ask this. Duke or UNC?
UNC.
Okay, you're not a villain.
Nah.
All right. Last one. Don't you've earned a lot of points here, so don't get this one wrong. Because it's people from Baltimore here that are gonna be listening to this. Favorite Baltimore slang term? This is that. How long you been in Baltimore question? That's literally what this question is.
Fuck it is, stupid.
That is definitely an age-oriented question. Well, thank you. So that's all the questions that I have. So I want to leave the floor open to you to share. What do you got coming up? And where can people check out your work, social media, all of that good stuff? And thank you for being on this podcast.
Hey, no problem. I mean, my name is Sizz, you feel me? That's on any streaming service. I'm on everything. I mean, I got videos coming out this year. I got a project coming out next year. It's going to be Fi-Fi, you feel me? I got a lot of things coming, you know what I mean? But in reality, go to my website, on9.online, you feel me? That's ONNINE. You know what I mean? .online. You dig what I'm saying? I got clothes coming out, events coming out. If you're in Baltimore and you need a music video, I'm here for that too. We got 3D modeling, everything. You know what I mean? So hit me up. Dark Skin Sizz on social media. It's Twitter, Instagram, all that too. Dark Skin Sizz.
I like how you emphasize that, by the way. Yeah. That's great. So there you have it, folks. So for Sizz, you're entertaining. Thank you for being on this podcast.
Yeah, no problem.
I am Rob Lee, saying that there is art in and around Baltimore. You just got to look for it.